Welcome to the Homeschool High School podcast brought to you by Seven Sisters Homeschool.com and the Ultimate Homeschool Podcast Network. I'm Vicki and I'm so excited to introduce my new friend Tonda Bean. So Tonda and I met at a conference recently. So you guys, if y'all saw us at the Machi conference, and I was so excited because Tonda is a subject matter expert in career exploration and college major choices, and has a wealth of wisdom and graduate degrees that help our kids. And you should see the work she does. So anyway, all right. So we got to give everybody a little background. So Tonda, say hi and tell us about your kids and their college and your background information that made you interested and expert in this field. I just laid a bunch of stuff on you. So, yeah. Tell us your story.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I was in school. I was a good high school student, and I had good grades, and I thought that I would just go on off to college, and everything would be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know what to do,
Mm-hmm.
so I talked to several people, and I ended up talking to my father, who was an engineer,
Hmm.
and he thought it would be great for me to be an engineer.
Of
And so he
course.
said, "Okay." I said, "Okay, Daddy."
Mhm.
And he said, "Well, what do you like?" And I said, "Well, I like chemistry and I like history." He says, "Oh, chemical engineering.
There you go.
That'll be good for you."
Uh,
So I wound up in chemical engineering, and I did not have a good time.
mm-hmm.
It was rough. I didn't enjoy the work,
Mm-hmm.
and but I was going to stick with it, because you got to stay in
Yes.
there. You
Yeah.
you just got to keep going. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was a optional weekend trip to a chemical plant. And I
Ah.
said, "Oh, well, let me go and see my future. This is going to inspire me to keep going."
Yeah.
And when I got to the chemical plant, I said, "Ooh, no, no,
Uh-huh.
no, not this, no."
Yeah.
And so I went back. I changed majors into School of Business,
Awesome. Mm-hmm.
and I really enjoyed the work better. I enjoyed the possibilities better. Everything just really cleared up for me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I did lose time.
Yeah.
I lost time. I lost a full ride scholarship messing around
Oh.
with chemical engineering.
Oh. Mm.
And I wound up scrambling so hard. One summer, I took classes at 3 universities because they were going to cut me back to being a second semester freshman
I know
instead
that.
of being a junior, which I would have been. I would, yeah, second semester freshman. Oh
Yeah.
no,
Uh,
no.
oh.
So I did all this scrambling. Okay, so time passed. I got married. I had children. And I realized that they were on that same, I don't know, I'll just be a
Mm,
good student kind of path.
mhm, mhm,
Okay, I'll just do my work and it'll work out.
mm.
I said, it doesn't work out. I saw that.
Yes.
I worked, let's not do that again.
Yes.
Okay, let's do something else.
Yeah.
So I started working on a system to really get them envisioning their own future, trying things out. What do you like? What do you not like? Okay. And I also, during that time, I became a scout leader. And the girls in the troop got to about ninth grade and they would come and they'd say, Miss Tonda, I'm going to Super Fantastic Summer Program. And they asked me for a letter of recommendation. And could
Uh,
you write me one? And
uh,
I had a corporate background. I'd worked in
yes.
for 15 years. And I said, sure, honey, send me your resume and I will do you a wonderful letter of recommendation. And they would stop. And this happened over and over again. They'd stop.
Mm,
They'd
mm,
look at me and they'd say, Miss Tonda, what's a resume?
mhm.
Well, if you don't have a resume, you're not ready for people to like you.
Yeah.
Because when they like you, they're going to say, give me your resume.
Yes. Yes.
And so there I was as a scout leader, as the troop leader. I'm supposed to be helping the girls get ready for adult life. That's the whole
Yes.
thing. You're
Mm-hmm.
getting them ready for adult life. And clearly this is missing. And
Mm-hmm.
it was missing not just from one girl, but from everybody. And my girls in the troop were public school, charter school, private school, parochial school, just
Mm-hmm.
a whole wide range. And all these
Mm-hmm.
groups of academics were dealing with these girls. And
Yeah.
none of those groups of academics said, oh, you need to start developing your resume before you need it.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I felt it important to develop a program to get them developing their resume,
Yeah.
thinking about their future, making the link between high school, college, and career
Yes.
as soon as possible
Mm-hmm.
so that they could try things, dislike them, and not lose their full scholarship.
Mhm. Yeah. Yes.
That sort of thing.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I did work, and I worked with mine, as parents. And as a parent, my husband and I were working with ours, and I've managed to get them both into really good schools from public school. They went to, one went to New York University,
Mm-hmm.
the other one graduated from Harvard.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm.
And they both really entered careers that they wanted to be in and that really lit them up. And
Yeah.
they were excited to be doing the work they were doing and
Mm.
to be in the environments where they were.
Yeah.
That was my joy, to get them
Yeah.
to where they wanted to be.
So you invested in them in high school to know themselves and to have the skills like resume writing and to
Mhm.
explore enough so that when they got to college, they got to the college they wanted and were able to, like your LinkedIn says, they graduated on time. And,
Yeah.
for people who are like me who took about 20 years to graduate because we kept changing majors, like
Mhm.
this we can't afford to do that these days.
Oh
So
no,
yeah.
it's so hard to pay for the 4 years. I
Mm,
find it really daunting that the National Student Clearinghouse says the average is now 6 years.
yes.
That 52, that 62%, only 62% complete undergraduate work in 6 years, which
And
means
that,
you have 38% over there that
yeah,
didn't.
yes. Yes.
So, oh my goodness.
And the amount of student loan debt that those extra years or that incomplete major degree is a shame. So you have developed a program that you've worked with teens, getting them ready for the next part of life, and
Yes.
I love it. So tell us about what you're doing with young folks.
Okay. Well, what I do, we have a four-stage program, really, and we get students started with the idea that they're going to dream, but not sleeping, but
Yeah.
dreaming by really looking at things in a particular way. So
Mm,
you're going to start looking at things really hard,
mm,
looking at what you want to do,
mm,
and examining things.
yeah.
And then you start from there. You start planning. How are you going? You think you want to be in a particular industry or doing a particular function,
Yeah.
and then the question is, well, what education needs to support that,
Yes.
and what's the lifestyle that goes with that?
Yeah.
Am I going to be traveling a lot? Am I going to be in an office? Am I going to be going between, my office and somebody else's office, servicing clients? What am I going to be doing?
And that matters. Yes.
Yes,
Hmm.
that's a personality thing. Some people really get their energy from talking to a lot of people in the day, and some people get their energy from being able to focus quietly.
Yes.
So you need to kind of start experimenting and see where you are. And
Hmm.
that way you land in a place where you're happy, that
Yeah.
feeds your your persona,
Yeah.
that really helps you to be the best you can be, and brings out the gifts that God gave you.
Yeah.
So that's the goal. And to start, well, what I tell kids is that there are two kinds of work. There's work done for payment, there's work done for enjoyment.
Awesome. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the thing you want to do is find the overlap
Mm.
where you can enjoy more or less the things you're doing to get paid. And finding that overlap takes some time, which is why so many people come out and decide they want to do something else because they find out they looked at it from a distance, they didn't look at
Yeah.
it close up,
Mm-hmm.
and things look different from a distance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
Yeah.
when you look at it close up, you say, "Oh, it's that trip to the chemical plant.
Yes.
It looked fine. It looked fine from a distance. I got up over there and I said, "Oh, well, thank you very much, but I don't think so."
Yeah. 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 Really. Yes.
And you may do that with two or three or four careers. So if you can do it before you start paying for training,
Yeah.
right? Whether you're paying for college training or technical training,
Mhm.
if you can get a look before you start paying for training, then you're less apt to choose the wrong thing.
And that's a wise thing to do while you're in high school and not having the pressures of being out and supposed to be an adult now.
Yes.
So, yeah. All right. So, you work with young people to kind of explore that process and have
Yes.
a close up look to know themselves well, to dream. You also help them think about what they need in a college, right?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. The main thing that I do is to flip the order. A
Mm,
lot of people choose a college first,
yeah.
and then they say, "Oh well, at this college, ABC major would sound good to me."
Yeah.
And then once they're in ABC, A, B, or C, then they'll say, "Oh, well, then I'll choose this career because it's kind of attached."
Mm-hmm.
What I do is get students to flip the order. So
Mm,
they're thinking about the career first.
yeah.
And with the career in mind, they can then choose a college, a major,
Yeah.
and then choose a college that has that major and a
Yeah.
college that's strong at that
Mhm.
major.
And that way they get the degree that fits them.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Which
Exactly.
is, if you're going to be spending money for school, it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've met several people, a lot of people who really came out in one thing and worked in something else and never
Yes.
used their degree.
Yes.
I was talking to a young man once in jury duty, and you kind of get to
Mhm.
sit there a minute
Yeah.
sometimes with jury duty, and he was saying that he had gone to school to be a music education teacher.
Uh-huh.
He thought it would be great being a music education teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And he got all the way through to the end where he was going to do student teaching. And when he started working with elementary school, middle school kids on
Mm-hmm.
student teaching, he realized, he said, that he was going to end up in jail.
I
He
understand.
was going to smack somebody's child. He was gotten so frustrated. He was going to smack somebody's child and end up in jail. And he said, he said, uh, I think I better not work as a music educator. And so he wound up working for the government, which of course did not, it was great that he had the bachelor's.
Yeah.
It wasn't really related. He could have gotten a better push
Yeah.
on bachelor's that was somehow related to what he was going to do.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
my
there's never a totally wasted degree,
no.
but may as well get something that fits and get you where you want to go. So, yeah, so to think about what's the best fit, college and college major, and to have that in a good order. All right, so let's say I was a parent And I have a high schooler, and they're at that clueless stage, like, I don't know, I just like studying, I want to do something. So what would we do with you? How would we get started?
Well, the thing that we start with is the just the idea that you need to look around with a more selective eye.
Mm-hmm.
And so we start with the mindset with it, I call it dream big, that we're
Mm-hmm.
going to start looking at things and acting in a way that gets us sampling.
Yes.
And
Good.
so then you start the sample, you look and see what would be interesting, what looks like it might be interesting to
Mm-hmm.
you.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get them sampling. Now, it's easier said than done to
Yeah.
sample
Yeah.
because, you can't just walk into a place and say, "Hey, I'd like to see what it's like to work here,"
I
and they're
know,
going to say,
right?
"Sure, come on in." You
Yeah.
have to you have to learn to present yourself. So we have
Mm-hmm.
first impression training,
Mm-hmm.
and we have resume development, and we have
Mm-hmm.
a whole little communication piece that we're doing, so
Awesome.
that you can start getting yourself accustomed to presenting in a businessy way
Awesome.
and get in so
Yes.
that you can sample. And then once you're in, you need to have an idea of what you're looking for.
Mm.
So we start talking about, and this is where my organization development background comes in. We start talking about looking at the culture
Mm.
an organization, just in
Mm.
a brief way.
Yes.
But you need to be able to say, okay, there's something that I like here. What is that? let
Yes.
let me find if I like this about this organization, let me find other organizations that have this, this
Mm-hmm.
K thing. There's this
Mm-hmm.
K thing that they used to do. And if other organizations are doing K, that's probably a good sign.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then you can also say, there's something that I don't like here. It's an
Mm-hmm.
M thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I really didn't like that M thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do a lot of people do M?
Ah.
Is
Mm-hmm.
M standard or
Mm-hmm.
am I going to have to learn to live with M, or can I just say I'll find someplace that they don't do M?
Yes. Awesome.
So you,
Mm-hmm.
you really, as you sample, you find out both about the organization and about yourself.
Beautiful. Mm-hmm.
So we go through all that and start, getting a picture of what you want and what
Yeah.
you like, and what job did you do and what did you like about that job, and is it what you thought it would be, or is it something else? And the thing that I really love doing is that my version of this work includes parents.
Awesome. And we homeschool parents love that. Yes.
Because parents are the thread of support that runs, from birth all the way into the workforce.
Yes.
And what I tell the parents is that, because most parents are working with a school system that says, stop, you stop, we'll handle this part.
Mm-hmm.
We'll tell you when you're needed.
Yeah.
Okay? You just go on, you go back,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the piece that I tell parents, especially when they've been trained not to be involved, is that nobody knows what to do with their first job evaluation.
Yes.
Nobody knows what to do with the first job evaluation. You don't know what to put on there.
Mm-hmm.
But guess who can tell you? If you've been talking to your parents,
Yeah.
mom and dad can tell you what to put on there because they've had job evaluations before
Yeah.
and they've been listening to you, and they can say, do you remember that project they put you on? Put that on there. You
Mm-hmm.
remember the training you took? Put that on there. You remember the presentation you had to do? Put that on there. And they'll help you,
Yeah.
with that piece. So in my version of life, parents need to stay close until
Mhm.
the second job evaluation. That's way past graduation.
Yeah, it is. Uh-huh.
It's
That's
it's not
awesome.
about just getting them graduated. It's about
Oh,
getting them successfully into their career and understanding what's important and what to do and how to handle things, how to handle people, all of that.
so this is such a unique package of experiences that you are bringing to families and young people because it's so layered, all these different aspects that help benefit a kid. So, all right. So now I know there are families who want to work with you. So for our listeners, tell us how to get connected with Tonda Bean.
Well, you can always hit my LinkedIn. I'm at Tonda Taylor Bean at LinkedIn. You can also check my website, wisdominminutes.com, which is, it's in flux, but it's there.
It's there.
And I have for you two things that you could check on. There is a masterclass that I give periodically,
Awesome.
and I give a series of three master classes because I really think it's important to just start thinking about this
Yes.
and thinking in a different way. Now
Yeah.
that's at classrooms to career, classrooms plural to career.com, so you can check and see what's coming up.
Awesome.
And I also have an ebook that I hope that you'll take take me up on.
Yeah.
It's 5 things your college bound teen needs to know but won't learn in school.
That's awesome. And where do we find that?
That's at bit.ly
Yes.
/college launch.
All right. And we will have links on the YouTube comment section and in the podcast show notes to all of these resources. And I am so excited that we are able to bring what you have to offer, Tonda, to all of our seventh sisters and siblings and young people. So thank you so much, Tonda, for joining us today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So this has been the Homeschool High School podcast brought to you by Seven Sisters Homeschool.com and the Ultimate Homeschool Podcast Network. Thanks to Seth Tillman for editing, and we will see everyone next week.